the hopelessness, and realize that there are ways in which we can make people's lives better. That's what this campaign is all about. It's not about Republican or Democrat or liberal or conservative. It's about improving the lives and giving hope to each and every individual Ohioan. I'm very excited about this, and I am thrilled that one of my great partners in this endeavor, one of the great thinkers inside of our state, and the man who's always said action, think, talk, act. Not just think and talk and do nothing. Think, talk, and act is here with us this morning. And I'd like you to give a very warm welcome to Bill Batchelder, the Republican leader and the next Speaker of the House.
Come up here, we're missing one of my members I see here, Troy Bolton.
Yeah, Troy, get up here. I don't know how he got, well, he's a used car salesman. So
Troy is a heck of a candidate. His opponent withdrew the day before yesterday. It's my kind of candidate. We got to recruit more of those guys. There's no difficulty for us today in identifying this state's overriding challenge. And that challenge is to expand and create new jobs. 400,000 people unemployed. Rhodes would have had a stroke. I started working in the State House in 1967. Jim Rhodes was going into his second incarnation in terms of job creation. And one of the things that he did best is what John has just been talking with you about, and that is he, as governor, focused on these programs of job attraction. He was up in Detroit talking to the people in the automobile business who were employing people all across the northern part of this state. He was on the go to get people here from other states around us. He used to take a suite for 2 days up in Detroit. It was called Rhodes's Raiders, thank you. He's a bright young man. And when he did that, he then had people come in, they ran advertisements, and people came in and said, gee, we'd like to be in Ohio. Ohio wants us there. And I think that's the important thing that we have not shown in recent years in this state, and it's sad. It's sad because, as Jim Rhodes said, one of the great social ills that we face in this state is anyone who wants a job and can't get it. We absolutely have to expand the job base in this state. It's the most important thing that we can do. Now, what John Kasich has come up with is a plan which will absolutely alter the approach to the Department of Development. Now remember, there are hundreds of employees over there in the Department of Development that don't have to do with development. They're in charge of all kinds of programs that ought to be in some other department. The focus is not on job creation in this state. It has to be. Our young people are leaving this state because they can't get jobs here. That's an indictment of the leadership in this state. We have people in their 40s and 50s who can't get other jobs when their job leaves, so they either go with it or they try to get something to tide them over until they get Social Security. What we really need in this state is a challenge to business and industry here that can come from a group of people as John has described. Business leaders talk to other business leaders. They don't talk to bureaucrats. Bottom line. In order to change Ohio and to make the future a future of opportunity, a future of growth, a future that justifies young people going to college, we have to change the development department. It has a wonderful history, but unfortunately, it doesn't have a very good future in its present embodiment. And so I would submit to you today that this is one of the most exciting proposals that I've seen. It's something that when we take control of the House will be at the top of our effort to make Ohio, once again, a leader in the nation in business and industry, in attracting young people, and most importantly, in making certain that this state never sees another day with 400,000 people out of work. John, thank you so much for including me in planning and working with you on this.
spend time with my pal Mark Wagoner, who I've been really getting to know for about 3.5 years. He and I have spent a lot of time together. He's, I think, one of the smartest guys you can find around. He has announced that he will not seek another term in the Ohio Senate because he's working for one of the top 100 law firms in the country. He is involved in every detail. He reminds me of John Kyle in the U.S. Senate and his ability to fix on details and understand the myriad of things and complexities. And I told Mark about this, and he was excited about it. And I asked him if he would come here today. He canceled a bunch of depositions up in Cleveland so he could be here and lend his support. And I consider Mark to be one of the intellectual strengths of our state, and somebody that's going to help us to carry out an agenda. Senator Mark Wagoner, give him a nice round of applause.
Thanks, John. It's great to be here and wholeheartedly endorse Jobs Ohio. This is a terrific idea. Now, I don't know if I'm one of the smartest guys in the Ohio Senate, but I'm smart enough to realize this makes sense. The Ohio Department of Development at one time served its purpose. But what's starting to happen is we're starting to lose. We're starting to lose jobs. And phone calls all too often from the Ohio Department of Development are crisis situations that a plant is closing or a job is leaving. We need to be proactive. We need to empower people to get out there and start talking to businesses. Every organization has to innovate to succeed. And it's time for Ohio's economic development efforts to innovate and succeed. I think this presents an opportunity for a lot of energy to actually have folks who are well-schooled in business, who understand what it takes to meet a payroll, who understand what it takes to raise venture capital, to run a business, to go out and sell our state. They need to be out there actively working. And this is an opportunity for us to reinvent ourselves. Every election is about choices and decisions about what tomorrow is going to look like. And tomorrow, the Ohio of tomorrow is going to be based on the economic efforts that we put forth today. And I think this needs to be done. I wholeheartedly support it. And John, I'm just proud to share the stage with you and push for this.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you very much. I asked Cheryl Kruger, how'd you build that cookie business? She said, well, I started off with one cookie. She's with us. She formed Cheryl & Company. You know her products if you fly on airplanes. You know her products if you wanted to send a great gift to your family, your friends. Cheryl's somebody that pulled herself up from her bootstraps, and she's been traveling around the state listening to business leaders, helping us to put together a book of business. It's this kind of entrepreneurship that we want to encourage in this state and break down the barriers that get in the way of people trying to be successful. Please welcome Cheryl Kruger.
Thanks for hosting this today. This is a great location. John asked me to speak a little bit today because I have a fair amount of history with the Ohio Department of Development. Under the Winovich administration, I worked with the Ohio Department to get a $2.4 million loan to create jobs and to expand our business, which at that time was the largest loan ever given to a female-owned business. At that time, it was a good place to go and to work. They had a sense of urgency. There was a willingness to work with businesses, and there was an understanding of my company's needs. But today,